Question we're going to look at today is, do acoustic guitars open up as you play them? This is a really common question. People ask this all the time, and they ask me, I had one of my long-time subscribers ask me this, do they open up? Well, I don't know. There are so many things going on with the acoustics of your brain, and you really need to get these two books. I highly recommend Musicology and How Your Brain Hears Music. I don't know. You need to get those couple of books on how you actually hear music and your brain's function in this. And I guarantee there's some surprising things in here. So the point of that first part of this, your brain adapts to sounds. And I know this because I have a hearing loss. And I've had a hearing loss since I was 6 years old. So I've had this all my life. And I'm very well versed on how your brain works with your hearing. And here's two facts. First of all, that I got from these books. First of all, you cannot physically hear the lowest note on a piano. You do not have the mechanical ability to hear that low note. Instead, what happens is your brain hears the upper harmonics on there, and because harmonics decay, so the higher the harmonic note is, the more decay it is, your brain fills in those steps and says, here's where that note should be, and your brain produces the sound. And that's how it works anyhow. Your ears don't hear anything. All your ears do is transmit the information to your brain. Your brain processes it, and you hear. Same thing is true of vision. Your eyes don't see anything. They just transmit the information to your brain, and off you go. So, point of that being, I should get this out of the way. Point of that being is that as you play the guitar for 15, 20 minutes or whatever, your brain may very well start filling in missing pieces of information. The second part of this that has to do with me as a hearing loss, and it relates to this, is that when I first meet someone, it's often hard for me to understand what they're saying. And that is because my brain's not used to their voice, especially if they have an accent or a voice that I'm not used to hearing. So if they sound like somebody else that I know, your brain fills it in and you can understand them immediately. The longer you're around this person, the more your brain starts to fill in the pieces and the things that you're missing. With a hearing loss, it's like looking at an alphabet and you're missing letters. And you've all seen games like that where they throw, random letters out and you can put the message together and you can read it. Point of that being is that when you come to music, there's these frequencies and these things going on here that your brain transmits to, and your brain fills in the gaps on these speech things. So, I'm not positive that your brain doesn't just fill in as you play longer. So how do we test this? Well, one thing we're going to do is we're going to take two guitars. One of them is going to be the D28 1941 Authentic, and I'm going to get the D45 1936, the S. These are two guitars that I have not played in a long, long time. I haven't played that D45 in probably 2 months, not since the last time I even did a video on it. I'm scared to death of that guitar, and it's really got a great big neck on it that's just not comfortable for me, so I don't play it. My D28, I play a little bit more, but it still hasn't been out of the case in a month. So we're going to take these two guitars. I'm going to take a frequency spectrum analyzer, which is the best I can do. This shows you, the best I can do is on an Android tablet. It's not a high fidelity microphone, but I have tested this against a Telecaster tone pot. So we know that on a Telecaster, when you adjust the tone pot, we know that the tone changes. It's a physical thing. And I checked it out with this, and it did indeed record the difference. You could look at this and you could, I see the difference between the tone pot moving. So all we want to do is see whether or not this can record changes. We're not really worried about the accuracy of the changes right now. We just want to see if it can produce show changes that we know are happening, and it does. So I'm going to sit here, and before I play, I'm going to record the strings. And what I've done here is I played each string. I'm going to put a graphic of this, a screenshot on here so you have a much clearer view of it. But what I did was I played the E string, the A string, the D string, the G string, each string sequentially so that you would get clear notes of it. And here's what it looks like. And again, I'll pop up a screenshot. But what you want to look at is the way these notes decay right here. And these are your upper partials. These are the upper frequencies come back. Well, I lost it when I did that. Anyway, you'll see the fundamental here, and then you'll see the decay in the frequencies as they go off. And these are the upper frequencies over here, and you'll see them decay because that's how the note goes. And so what we want to see is there a difference in anything? Does the fundamental get stronger? When it gets stronger, the band is going to be wider and more visible. So if it's just a narrow little strip here, it's going to be not a very strong frequency, not a good volume, not a wide thing. When it's a wide band like this, it means it's a very strong frequency, powerful. It's grown in volume. It's grown in apparent volume. And if you see longer and taller spikes down on the end, that means your upper harmonics got stronger. So we're going to look to see if anything gets stronger on the guitar. The second thing I'm going to do, I'm going to record the guitar, playing rhythm and playing a little lead, untouched, fresh out of the case. Well, I did the strings, but big deal. Fresh out of the case, I'm going to play that. Then I'm going to turn off the mic, and then I'm going to sit here and I'm going to play for 30 minutes, non-stop. 30 minutes, I'm going to put the TV on. I'm going to play for 30 minutes non-stop. And at the end of that 30 minutes, I'm going to turn the camera back on. I'm going to record the same thing, and I'm going to put that into an A versus a B. And then I'm going to match those together like I always do on these videos. So you'll be able to hear fresh out of the case, right back to back with 30 minutes of playing time. Now let's see if you can hear anything. What this will do is it'll isolate you from the played guitar. So I'm sitting here playing it for 30 minutes, and my perception of hearing might very well change, but yours will not, because you're going to hear the guitar immediately back to back. You're not going to get adapted to the guitar, okay? So we're going to see if the tone actually changes or whether your perception of the tone changes. And personally, I don't know that I have an opinion here. If someone asks me for my opinion right now, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to predict this. This is my hypothesis. My hypothesis is that the stronger effect is going to be your perception of the hearing. I don't think the guitar itself really changes that much. It might change a little bit. I'm not willing to rule that out. But I think the greater perception is the greater change is going to be your perception over time playing. The guitar might change a small amount, and because of that small change, your brain goes nuts on it and thinks, oh man, we gained something here. And your brain amplifies that change. So your brain might work with something. In other words, there's also a fatigue factor going on here. After a long time of listening, you get tired. But I don't think that's going to happen in 30 minutes. I think that might come after a couple hours of listening to a guitar. Your brain might get tired of it, especially if you have ADD or, whatever. Like I know I get bored. Take a break. I have to take a break from something and then come back to it. So there's lots of factors going on here, but we're going to look at two things here. We're going to look at the A-B thing immediately. We're going to look at the frequency spectrum analysis, and we're going to see if we can see anything. It's better than nothing. It's better than just hypothesizing and stating facts, and, we're going to try to get some sort of useful information out of this. So when I do this, I have to keep this in some sort of consistent location. So what I'm going to do, and this is what I was laughing about because I did it to test it, I'm going to just take this microphone and I'm going to tilt it back like this, and I'm going to use it for a table. I'm going to set the iPad, or not an iPad, it's an Android tablet. I'm going to set it on that microphone because I don't have a stand for this thing. And I'm going to set it right there. So it's going to be in the same spot as the microphone was. Okay? I'm going to try to be as consistent as I can about this. I know it's not perfect, but it's what we got. So we're going to deal with it, right? All right, here we go. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to record this, and I'll show you. We'll go ahead and take a look at that. And then I will put the microphone back up, and I will start playing. Of course, you can't hear this properly because the tablet is blocking the microphone right now, but you can see what's going on, okay? This is the D45. This is a D45 1936 S. This was a really good candidate for this because it has actually been detuned in the case. Slacked the tuning off because why not? Again, I'm scared to play this guitar. I don't play it much, and so one day I thought, I'm just going to slack the tuning off. And, that way nothing's going to happen to it. It's going to delay the need for neck reset, etc., blah, 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 blah. So it's been actually destrung for a couple of months right now. So it is really asleep. If a guitar is ever asleep, this one is asleep. So I'm going to get my tablet, I'm going to put it up on the mic, and we're going to get the first frequency spectrum on this one. Well, what do I think after playing this guitar for 35 minutes straight? Oh, man. And I'm going to put my actual playing at the end of this video in case you're really bored and you want to go see what I did for 35 minutes. Skip around it. In fact, I might even shorten it up into little pieces. But man, I went from everything I could think of. I played non-stop, pretty much. What do I think? Well, I'll tell you what, actually, to my perceptions, would actually start to sound a little duller. The strings eventually go bad, and I'm beating the strings to death. That's what I heard. It seemed to be like as I played more, it seemed like I got a little bit duller. I don't feel any more responsiveness in the guitar. I didn't feel when I went back and played the little G lick, the 9-pound hammer comparison AB. I didn't feel like it was really any different. Maybe a little bit more open, and maybe that's what I'm calling dull. Because to me, when I first pick up the guitar, it's bright and crisp and it's tight, and I like tight guitars. I like the bright, crisp, snappy, focused, bright sound. It cuts better for me than the big, loose, floppy sound. So maybe it got more big, loose, and floppy to me. That's really all I heard on it, Maybe, and I'm imagining things. So I didn't hear a dramatic difference. The other thing I did notice is after playing half an hour, I used to do that quite a bit, actually. It really develops your stamina and develops your strength, stamina, and your ability to lighten up and play. It's quite a physical thing to play an acoustic guitar straight for 30 minutes. It really is. And your fingers have to be light. You can't be clamping the strings and that kind of thing. So as a player, it's a really good thing to do that. I used to do that quite a bit more when I was more of a serious player. I'd sit there and just, I'd play for 30, 40 minutes easy, just nonstop. Just like I did on this, which you can see if you want to. It's just a stream of consciousness. I'm just going along and I think of a song and I think, And then if you watch the end, you'll see where I went to this E thing at the end, and I just started playing with rhythms in there, trying to get those rhythms on the fly. None of that was practiced. I mean, nothing I played was practiced. That was all spur of the moment. Think of a rhythm, try to play it. And some of those rhythms, those are hard to do in the right hand. At one point, I'm talking too much on this, but at one point I was trying to do it with a downstroke on the start, and then I realized when I was doing it instinctively, I was probably doing an upstroke on it or something. I don't know. I was trying to get it down on the fly, and then I got into trouble in some places and tried to get out of the trouble. Playing for 30 minutes is pretty good stuff for that. And I tell you, I used to do that, but put the drum beat on, to put a drum track on, and I would try to change rhythms with the drummer. So I'd try to play a reggae rhythm with that drummer, and then try to play a bluegrass rhythm, and then try to play a rock, and I just play rhythm with the drummer. If I had a real drummer in here, we could have some real serious jams. Anyway, that's what I thought about playing that guitar.
too fast. This is too fast. Chip Brooks. How's it go? Different song. Banjo tune now. Let's see. Bargain out breakdown. Trying to think of something good. You gotta keep playing. Okay, right there. Keep playing. How long have I been now? Oh, really whaps it like that. Let's go to E. Let's go like this. time I've ever played a break to this song. Oh, let's look at the melody. See how I'm doing on time. Minutes. Oh, not bad. Well, I know that I can do this.
34 minutes.